Hello and welcome to the 30th episode of Kerbal Space Program Reborn. And as you know, this is the 30th episode. We have a lot of stuff to do, so let's get right into it. So first of all, we needed to finally finish circularizing our KZ4 crew to get into a stable orbit of the moon, as I've forgotten to do so last time. I mean, I didn't forget, but my game kind of just crashed, so I couldn't really do it, but we were going to do that now. So once I finished the burn, you can see I did end up deciding to do a little EVA, which is also known as a extravehicular activity. So we did that to gather some science, as you can see, and just in general, as a Kerbal has never been this close to moon dust and a surface of another terrestrial body. So this was an important step for future upcoming moon landing, which is supposed to happen in a few years in game time. So after the Kerbals took a great look outside their window and even one doing an EVA, it was time to launch our Lunar 2 mission, which has been due. Even though the flight went good so far, we launched quite with no control, as we had no attitude control because of the lack of connection. We did have to burn our current altitude and therefore grazing the atmosphere in the slightest bit, which didn't matter, as we ended up still reaching our targeted orbit. After that, I did accept more contracts and got working on building our Primitive 3 mission on the very same day as we launched our Lunar 2 mission. And as you should know, 2 launches in a day is rare for our space agency, and that especially at such a year, as we're very early in the space exploration system, and therefore our space agency being able to do this is very important and a rapid step into use rapid launch systems, regardless of how important each launch was or how heavy each one was. So during the ascent of this Primitive 3 rocket, we could see the beautiful sun setting as we opened the parachutes, which gave us a little nice view at the launch pad and while the sun is setting down, while we were parachuting down to a safe splashdown in the ocean. So we did conduct our experiments and then went on with going on with the next one. Which in this case would not fly any up, but actually it would be ground experiments. And they were made with a little mishap, as you can see, as we've had a towel exploding, sending us dragging across the launch pad, which though it didn't matter as nothing majorly got destroyed. But therefore I made my way back to accepting more contracts, and we didn't get much damage from that, not financially, not mentally, whatever, but before planning our next Prometheus free flight. So this is obviously happening a few days later, and this time this Prometheus free rocket was quite stacked, carrying 3 whole rocket engines that needed to be tested while being splashed down. So after that was done, it was time for an important change in our series, thus being creating a whole new world, or save data, which is based just around the Soviet Union, as we were quite literally launching rockets from the Soviet Union using our money, or hard-earned money, from the American side. So therefore I made my own world with it, cancelled all the current ongoing contracts, and gave us a little more less funds to be able to make it more realistic. And yeah, so that was off script. So after that, they have actually launched the Prashnikov 3 mission, the 3rd generation, just a day prior to our Prometheus 3 launch, which we had just saw earlier. And this was the first time they used a liquid engine with liquid fuel tank and liquid methane instead of a solid rocket fuel booster. Luckily, only this was a high altitude test targeting about 500 kilometers to conduct some experiments, which they did successfully with a very high success rate, them even reaching almost 1.25 times what they actually had hoped for. But yet again, they had a hard touchdown afterward and therefore didn't recover anything hardware wise, but data wise they did collect a lot, which was quite worrying, as ballistic missiles are also obviously important, but not in our space exploration program, so we're gonna leave that out for now. So after that was done, Lunar 2 had its turn to land now, as we finally arrived at the moon. So we precisely searched for a landing spot and actually had found one, which was a nice, not steep, and which didn't have any slopes area, and it was a nice flat area which we could perfectly land on, which had all the biomes that we actually needed to fulfill our criteria for this mission. So as we made the orbit burn, it was time to prepare, and I did test the airbags and they were deployed successfully. So after that was time, and as we're getting closer to the actual landing site, it was time to prepare and be ready to decouple our stage. And we did exactly that at just shy of at approximately 50 meters. So we decoupled and deployed our airbags. Unfortunately, our airbags did land on the just jettisoned fuel stage, but we managed to somehow crash it and survive the impact therefore. So after it was done, we were able to deflate our airbags and have a completely healthy probe for the second time on the surface of the moon. So we did all the new experiments which we've gathered with us to be able to transmit them, as this was very huge for us. So here goes the Lunar one landing all over again. This probe is expected to last for around 3 weeks, if not 2, because it was actually designed to try and survive the harsh darkness and coldness that the moon endures during its nighttime. And if you know, one moon day goes 14 days. So yeah, 14 days at night, 14 days at day. Let's see how long it can survive. For now though, that should be it for this episode. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next episode. Bye bye.